Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are doing Beset on all sides, which is a legendary event from Jedi Master and Mace Window. I will show you all the mods that I use on the characters before each battle. But yeah, what I did is I kind of pre-recorded this and I'm just doing a voiceover. So we'll go through obviously the actual kind of details of the event. So obviously, first one is CX12 with Scorch. But yeah, all my characters are at the min requirement as well as having all the Zetas. For the recommended, it's tier 6 mods as well as all the Zetas, which I do have on the Zetas. At any rate, I don't have all tier 6 mods, but that's fine. And then the strategy tips very much are it's just stopping, it's just notes about the actual event, which is very much stopping Bad Batch from getting their rescue operation. It doesn't really go into too much detail, to be honest. But yeah, it's very much a case of beat the Bad Batch characters, and this is the new Bad Batch. So what we'll do is we will have a look at a TK Stormtrooper who you do get loaned, who will be unmodded and will have 2 abilities to use. And then we will look at the actual mods for our 2 characters. But yeah, as you see there, it's very much, it just kind of gives an overlay. It doesn't really tell you, or the only note is that you get loaned a TK Stormtrooper. But other than that, it just kind of tells you what the objective is, but it doesn't really say. There's no sort of additional effects by the looks of it to help you with this. It's just very much beating the opposition. When doing this battle, I did notice that if crit avoidance is probably good, just on the basis that if they do crit damage, they do deal a lot of damage, and same as they get explosives off, they can deal a lot. Otherwise, you do find that you're very much all right with survivability. But yeah, if you the TK Stormtrooper, it's basic. It's deal physical damage to target enemy, target ally dispels all debuffs, gains critical avoidance for 2 turns, and has their cooldowns reduced by 1, as well as the weakest ally recovery and health protection, and the grenade throw is very much dispel all buffs on the opposition, on all enemies, which will also come in handy as they do give out a lot of buffs. But yeah, other than that, very simple. So with CX2 rather, I very much have gone for speed. My mods aren't the best on him, so there's a little bit of work that can be done. But yeah, obviously, kind of go for speed. I've found damage as well if you can, and with RC with Scorch, it's survivability because obviously you want to taunt with him as much as possible to take the damage. But yeah, with mine he has a lot of protection added. But obviously, again, neither of them the greatest of mods, and they could probably be improved. But I still won. I still managed to beat the battle, albeit only at 1 star. So getting into this is very much start off, and you do want to try and target the more damage dealer characters like Batte or the Hunter, and then obviously also your sniper you want to target. But you know, it doesn't kind of let you with all the stuff they get from the start and whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of just a case of trying to keep your taunt over on Scorch, as well as also trying to make sure characters have got crit avoidance and whatnot, just to keep survivability going. And then just trying to take out, utilizing CX's disarm is very helpful as well, because it helps with stopping them from landing crits. And same as using the basic on the TK is very helpful, just because that will also give you crit avoidance on the targeted ally. So, like I say, from what I've noticed, getting crit avoidance is very important because they do deal a lot of damage based on crit. But as you see, there's a lot of just kind of standard hits going in on me, which is kind of making it not so bad. It's only TK that seems to be getting crit hit at this time. But you see there like 8k damage on a standard hit from like Batte. Whereas I'm pretty certain if you get a crit, it's like nearly 4 or 5 times that amount of damage. But yeah, obviously at this point, it's just a case of it's just perseverance, really, trying to keep up that, that crit avoidance, stop them from dealing too much damage on you, and then obviously trying to take out the characters as quickly as possible. They obviously do have captive, so they can actually bring them back alive, back into the battle. So it's a case of once you get the first, just try and run through the rest, and it does become easier as the battle goes on, due to obviously less attacks coming in, less chance of unwiping characters. But yeah, now I do target the sniper next crosshair, just because he's getting close to removing all his stacks of shaken. Obviously, it doesn't help when you have Omega constantly putting people into stealth, but it's all right. No, see, there we go. Second one, next one in, and then obviously, it can work out better with the stealths who's going on. Like I say, sometimes you do want to kind of get rid of certain characters in order, but as you see there, Batte doing like over 100k damage with a crit hit, and that's where I was saying about the crit damage being very important to try and avoid because of how much damage that can be done. But now with it just being Scorch, this is very much, I was relying on RNG in my favour, which did happen. I did get it. It helps that Scorch is very tanky for me, and all it's a case of I just got to get that final hit in, which, yeah, it took a minute, but yeah, it's not too bad. And there we go. Battle done. Like I say, if you can get crit avoidance on your characters for this, or at least things to help with stopping the crit, that battle should be relatively easy because they don't deal a lot of damage otherwise. Next one is with Depa Batte, and this is, again, I have her a bit better modded, so I've gone for damage as well as speed, as it's quite important to have speed, and she has a bit of survivability with her health and protection up. The actual is recommended again, tier 6 mods, Zetas, which I have. With this one, you start with 60 stacks of Caleb's Escape, and basically you win this battle by reaching 0. The best way to attain this is by eliminating clones, and also at the end of each of your turns. What you want to do is, because they do put down like debuffs on you, which also helps them. It stops you from counter-attacking, and also helps them deal more damage. So her third ability does clear debuffs on yourself, which I did use straight away, but that's because you look at the damage it does, and what the idea is, I'm trying to help myself counter-attack and just one-shot them like this, which will help reduce these stats quite quickly. It's only really the commander that is the real issue here, because I do just keep targeting him just to try and force him to struggle to, put down debuffs, and hopefully if I can kill him, it will help overall with the battle. The rest of them I will just counter-attack, but as you see here, with a speed down, I am not counter-attacking now. That's where the third ability comes in, and then you can just carry on. I don't really target anyone else if needs be, just because, like I say, with the counter-attack, I near enough do wipe the character. Obviously, better ways around doing this, no doubt. But I seem to got this. I didn't find it too difficult. My Depa might be just better equipped with the mods, maybe. But as you see, nice little AoE, take a couple out. That does happen. Like I say, that's why I don't like this commander, because he can call to assist, which can obviously swing the battle against you. But hopefully, I mean, as you see, it's slow. It's a slow process, but all the battles I kind of found were a little bit like that. Yeah, it's just a case of I'm looking to try and just slowly get rid of these and AoE, and there we go. It's, not overly difficult. Again, getting speed, maybe having tenacity, boosted is also helpful if you're struggling. Second, the final battle for unlocking mace, very much prior, that requires your own characters, is with the Temple Guard. Again, I'll go with speed, survivability. Don't really worry about damage because this event isn't particularly with damage. I did miss out looking at the actual things. Basically, the idea of this is, I will pause and explain. The base idea of this is Kanan is going to build up these stacks, it goes up to 10, and basically what he only ever gains them when he uses an ability. That isn't his basic. So what you want to do is, he will always have this ability block, but the idea is when you're using the lightsaber throw, you're clearing that ability block, and he then uses a special ability, which can you do quite a bit of damage. The idea is you're building up his stacks deliberately so you can win. So what you want to do is, like I say, use the AoE, gets rid of the ability block. He then uses an ability, but you want to kind of time it so you're keeping your survivability. And the best way with that is using the third ability, which gives you that crit avoidance and whatnot, as well as obviously it helps. I think, no, that's it. There's also a chance based on potency. You can put daze on Kanan, which stops him from counter-attacking you when you use abilities, which is very helpful in this for survivability reasons. You then obviously using the basic is very good as well for health recovery and protection recovery, as if you go into, that stance, you also can do 3 hits, which pretty much you can be from less than half health and you can go back to full health, and also some bonus some protection as well recovered. So yeah, going to the battle, obviously straight away I do that. I did start off a bit slower because I weren't thinking about it, and then I realised once I do that, it helps. Obviously, you want Kanan to get some his abilities off, and obviously I think my speed does kind of not help too much sometimes. As you see there we go, uses special, but you see the amount of damage he can do. And there you go, he's got 2 stacks already. But as you see, whenever I hit, I do gain some recovered health and protection. But yeah, as long as you're kind of sitting in that sort of green area, your health, you should survive whatever he throws at you. Then, like I say, if you're ever worried, just throw down a basic just to recover some protection. Like I say, I'll probably take longer on this than I needed to, but I was being overly cautious, I believe. Like I say, there I could have probably used the swing to obviously get him out of his ability block stance, because when you do use your abilities, you tend to gain a bit of turn meter. Might also help that having quite fast, which obviously helps with this. But yeah, you see there, it gets awfully close sometimes, but like I say, I don't worry too much now that I'm in this point. As long as I can get my 2-3 hits off, it does help. And I'll just go back and recover a bit more health and a bit more protection. But as you see there, nice recoveries again. Obviously, you try to keep yourself in that taunting stance as much as possible. Like I say, you will have to bear with this battle because it took longer, mostly because I was being overly cautious and trying not to get beat up. Like I say, constantly going into that stance is always helpful. And like I say, it can drop daze on him, which stops his counter attacks. Obviously, it doesn't always happen. Right, so I do think if you're more than full health, use the throw just to get him out of that ability block. Obviously, sometimes he doesn't like to use an ability, so it did just drag on this battle a little bit. But as you say, especially when he uses that the hit puts him in taunt, he does deal a lot of damage. So having higher health or protection is probably a very good idea. Maybe health on the basis that you do recover you can recover quite a bit of health easily. I see. He's on 6 stacks now. We had one little close shave there, but yeah, we should be able to we would be able to get this done anyway, regardless. Like I say, it's not overly difficult. It's just a case of making sure you're keeping Temple Guard alive, really, and just keeping his health up. Probably throwing a bit more caution to the wind than I have. Like I said, as you see there, the amount of damage you can throw down is, yeah, it's a bit close. I'm not sure if when he builds up his stacks, he starts dealing more damage. It might be the case. So obviously, it deliberately makes it harder towards the end of the battle. Like I say, I weren't perfect with this. I kind of hit a rhythm of hitting that ability where I'm constantly going into the stance, which could have lost me the fight because you don't need to do it every turn. Every other turn's fine. Yeah, as you say, back to recovered again, which is helpful. I think I did constantly try and stay in that stance, but yeah, just because it helps with survivability. And you see, just one more turn. I wanted to make sure I was healed up a bit before I hit it, just in case, because I weren't sure if he was going to still have turns after he hits 10, or if it's just a case of. But as you see there, it's very much he hits his 10, and then you have your turn, and then you win. So yeah, that's like I say, so far the battles weren't as difficult as I thought. It's like I say, my mods aren't all the greatest, and I still managed to get through them. So in terms of just winning the fight, so it's a few little key components to the battles that seem to be important. And then the final one is you're using Mace Windu, and this is very much just a case of, if anything, just enjoy having a read of the kit. Using, obviously, just trying out the different abilities, but this is just very much wiping out all these droids. And obviously, best way to do that is he has his AoE ability, which will just hit everybody. With this, you do have a chance of gaining 100% turn meter based on when you get hit and when you use an ability. So, I mean, like I said at the start, it was a bit slower, but as it went on, you started using several hits in a row. But yeah, no, this isn't, like I say, this isn't too difficult. No real kind of strat to this. I didn't think. I mean, I just kind of went in and just took out troops as I could. Use the AoE whenever it's available, just to slowly cut them down. Did try his middle ability, which did put this low morale, which I didn't realise was a thing. Obviously, after I have read the kit and realised how insanely good his abilities actually are. As you see here, AoE, and it's very much just these troops, these B1s left to do, and it's easy enough because there you go. Got a bit of RNG in my favour there, where I got a few hits in a row, and then thought I'd go with a nice little hammer strike. But yeah, it's the final one. It's very much a case. It's just opportunity for you to read the kits and kind of see how abilities work and stuff. But yeah, that is very much it. It's for a legendary character to unlock. I don't think it was overly difficult. Like I say, it just seemed there's some kind of mechanics in there which you just kind of look out for. Like I say, with the clone troopers, it was crit avoidance and just having a bit of damage and speed. Everything's always speed is helpful. Depa Mods is very much timing when you use that third ability just to cleanse so you can counter attack, and also having good damage on her as well as good speed. And then obviously with the Temple Guard was more of just a slug where it's just a case of survivability and just making sure he's staying up as you're keeping his health as high as possible to avoid any sudden insta deaths from Kanan specials. But yeah, other than those kind of minor mechanics, yeah, they weren't too bad. I kind of did actually enjoy doing these battles. To be honest, it was good fun. I do hope that this guide helps some people who may be struggling with it a little bit. I mean, you might not, and but if you are, hopefully this has helped you. And thank you for watching. Please leave a like or even subscribe. As I do, like I said, I do try to do videos on as much as I can in terms of guides or raid battles and stuff like that. I will be doing one for Mace Windu's team as well on the tier 4 of the raid to get the max score. But yeah, until then, thank you for watching. All the best. Bye.